it's time for us to get started. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Douglas with the LiDAR Pros. We're based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, with locations across the western United States. And today we're going to be talking about the new inspired flight IF800. Now, this is an aircraft that was announced long ago. It's just now starting to hit the market. So here's our inspired flight IF800. I'm looking forward to showing you a little bit more about it and what impresses us. Now, off to the side of this one image here, you actually are seeing an IF1200. We have been involved in the inspired flight world for quite some time. We love the inspired flight product for a variety of reasons, and hopefully we'll help you understand precisely why as we go through the rest of this presentation here. So one of the things about the inspired flight is its feature set. So this is a really unusual aircraft. It's built specifically to come in and work within the realm of public safety, federal agencies, state agencies, but it's also useful for drone service providers such as ourselves. And one of the reasons that we really love the IF800 is the fact that if you've got a medium-sized payload on it, such as something like the GOQ 535 or even a 585, some of these other systems, we're going to get really close to an hour of flight time out of the aircraft. It does have a maximum payload of 3 kilograms. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. So we've got nearly an hour of flight time with a fairly large payload on the system. And again, as I mentioned, the hot swappable batteries is a really important feature, especially if you're a drone service provider that's working in the field where speed is everything. Time is of the essence. We've got to be able to work inside that picture window or that sun window if you're doing photogrammetry. Of course, on the LiDAR side, we don't care quite so much, but if we're doing photogrammetry, we've got a relatively short period of time during the day that we can get high quality images. It's lightweight, and that's probably the best thing about it is the fact that this aircraft is easily transportable in any kind of a vehicle you have. Basically gone are the days with those great big cases that we needed to be able to have a raised tonneau or a raised cover on our pickup truck, or at least having a pickup truck in order to be able to get this into our transport vehicle. It's also got the ability to give us 30-degree upward shooting. So if we need to do things like inspect bridges or underhangs, etc., this is one of the ideal tools for that. It's also got built into it an FPV camera. We'll look at that in just a minute. One of the most important things, though, is the NDAA compliance. And I want to talk more about that because NDAA compliance with the National Defense Authorization Act requirement is becoming a very common requirement across many states here in the United States. So as mentioned, it's got that 30-degree upward looking camera. There is an FPV camera on here, just like you're familiar with some of the other platforms. So this camera is not used for film work. It's just simply used to be a means of knowing where we are in space and time. And if we're up on a target, we're shooting away from the target, we might want to be able to keep a little bit of a side eye on anything that's nearby for us. Or if we're, say, inspecting a cell tower or something like this gives us a known fixed depth that we're able to work with. So this gives us real-time visual feedback. It helps us understand what's happening with our control that's in there. Now, as I mentioned, this is an NDAA compliant aircraft, and that's very important for folks that are in states that have banned Chinese drones outright, or states that have limitations on how Chinese drones may be used. This is an issue that is not going to be going away, and as a matter of fact, it's likely to become significantly more intense. So in some states, they've passed laws where they're giving agencies X period of time in order to get rid of their Chinese drones or disperse of their Chinese-made drones. Other states have created technical requirements for Chinese drones, but either way, these states have created scenarios where there's a lot of confusion and uncertainty and, gee, what aircraft can I use for this and what aircraft can I use for that? One of the things about the NDAA compliant moniker is it allows us to fit into any state agency role and many federal agency roles outside of military operations or operations on military bases where we're going to need to have a blue list compliant drone. If you need more information about NDAA, please reach out to us at myhelp@thelidarpros.com, and we'd be very happy to provide more information. But back again, kind of to it, this is a made in the USA aircraft. It's made in San Luis Obispo, California. As mentioned, it folds down really tight. It's got a very unique leg locking system. So as we bring the arms around and lock, we get a positive lock with an indicator that we have a positive lock on here. And even when we undo it, it's spring loaded so that it won't unlock unless we use a two-handed method to release that lock. So it's a drone that's designed with great safety feature and parameter in mind. And we're going to get into some of the other safety features that are on here right now. One of the things about this is it is designed to accept all kinds of inputs and provides lots of different kinds of outputs or transmission of data, as well as powering different devices. So as you can see on the bottom of the aircraft, there are many reinforced brass hardpoints that are found on the bottom of this aircraft for a variety of different kinds of mounting systems. It would be very hard to find a payload that would not mount onto the IF800 system. And it's designed this way predominantly because there's a lot of things we're trying to do with uncrewed aircraft today. For example, in public safety, we might need to have a thermal camera and RGB camera, but we might also want to have a bright light. So we might want to add something like the Fox Fury D100 spotlight to this particular aircraft. Well, the aircraft will handle the load, but what about connections and what about being able to turn on and turn off the lights, etc.? All of that is already built into this aircraft. And in fact, this aircraft is designed based around designed for the Mavlink protocol with its RGU and Cube based system that drives it. So integration with third-party products is very, very efficient and in most cases already laid out for this particular aircraft. Now, this aircraft is designed to supplant or replace M300, M350 systems that state agencies or federal agencies may have without too much headache. In other words, this has the same features that you're going to find on some of these other Chinese-made products. But one of the places where this really shines is, although it's about the same size package as one of the MSeries series that a lot of agencies are using, it lifts nearly 3 times the amount of payload. So we've got a 6.6 pound payload capability with it. So that means we could have a LiDAR unit as well as a secondary camera unit. Depending on the LiDAR unit that you've got, you might want to do simultaneous photogrammetry while you're doing LiDAR capture. Now, if you're using something like a GeoQ 535, photogrammetry and LiDAR are built in together and they're already pre-registered, so that's not an issue. But some of you that have got some of the older systems that are out there, or maybe you've got a LiDAR head that doesn't have photogrammetry capability, this system is capable of also carrying an RGB camera for photogrammetry that could be used for texturization or meshing over top of a point cloud from a LiDAR sensor, or perhaps all you need is colorization of that point cloud. So there's a wide variety of different kinds of sensors we could carry on here. But the bigger point is there's lots that goes out of building into this aircraft. So it's designed to take on most payloads that you might come across. One of the things that I particularly love about the IF800 is it folds down very, very small. As you can see, the legs come off. The entire package is quite narrow and slender. So this can be packed down and put into its wheeled carrying case. Now, this system is not designed to go into overhead compartments. It's a little bit too big, but the carrying case does carry everything that you would possibly want to carry. Now, if you're not flying, you can even carry, in other words, if you're not flying commercial airlines with this package, you can put a couple of batteries in the carrying case in addition to your payload and your controller. If you're flying, of course, you'll need the battery kit, which looks like this. So this is the battery kit that comes stock with the Inspired Flight IF800. So it's slotted for 4 batteries and 2 chargers. Each of those chargers is capable of charging 2 batteries simultaneously. So this is a full load out kit. It's ready to charge all 4 batteries simultaneously, and it carries down pretty small. This does fit into an overhead compartment on pretty well any commercial airline that you're going to be out there flying, and that's important because of course, according to ICAO, we can't check batteries in the cargo compartment of the aircraft. We must carry these batteries on board, and these are below the requirement for carrying batteries on board as well. Now, bear in mind that sets you up as a pilot with greater than or approximately 2 hours of total flight time, depending on which payload you're working with. If you're working with something like, say, again, I keep mentioning the GOQ-535 because that's kind of the bread and butter LiDAR payload for a lot of agencies and organizations and high-level drone service providers, because it does do photogrammetry and it does do LiDAR capability. So if we're operating with a GOQ-535 underneath this aircraft here, we're going to get just shy of 2 hours of overall flight time. I'm going to start to summarize. If you've got some questions, this is a good time to prepare your questions and have them in the chat window there. And if you haven't been paying attention to your chat window, note that there's some information that has been put in there by our moderator. And so this is a mid-lift, all-purpose UAS system. It's designed for enterprise and commercial use. And of course, the NDAA compliancy, it eliminates that fear of your aircraft being end-of-lifed. As a kind of a side story, we had an agency in one of the states that's recently passed a law banning the Chinese drones, and they had just purchased a fairly large system with an L2 LiDAR and a P1 mapping camera on it. And unfortunately, the purchase ran afoul of what the new state regulations are. And so they have to be done with that aircraft by January 1st of 2025. So in other words, they've got basically 6 months of use out of it. That's a terrible situation to be in, is to find that your state does not allow certain kinds of uncrewed aircraft or certain brands of uncrewed aircraft. And I will underscore again by saying the Department of Commerce, the Bureau of Information Services, the FCC are all taking action against certain types of Chinese products. And it's not just drones. For example, one of the best known thermal cameras in the industry today has just been put on the entity list, and they're not allowed to be imported into the United States anymore. We're going to continue to see some of these kinds of things as trade wars and cybersecurity and info security ramp up, and it's a very large topic. And more we have agencies or organizations and even drone service providers doing work on federal or state lands, looking for something that is compliant, so they don't have to worry about any of these country of origin concerns. So this is a way of eliminating that end of life concern that comes into some of these devices. And as mentioned, this is made in USA in San Luis Obispo, California, by folks that are in the aviation industry. We've got pilots and engineers and people that have strong backgrounds in aviation. And then last but not least, I briefly mentioned this. This is a MAVLink compliant or MAVLink capable system. So just about any payload that's out there that is MAVLink set will attach or connect to this system without any problem. If you're not familiar with MAVLink, it's a standard communication protocol for payloads and sensors. Now, if you'd like, we do have an interactive pre-flight, post-flight checklist. We mentioned this during most of our lunch and learns. If you want to email us at myhelp@thelidarpros.com, we'd be thrilled to send out to you our PDF that gives you an interactive pre-flight and post-flight checklist that can operate on an Android or iOS phone or even on a laptop. Well, that rounds out our time today. I don't see any questions coming through in the chat box. I don't know if we've got anything coming through from our Facebook pages. But for any of you that are attending today that are part of a public agency, we've got a special bundle that's happening right now with the Inspired Flight IF800. This is only for public safety agencies that have got an email address that is associated with a municipality or a state or a federal agency. So you'll need to have that in order to access this particular bundle, and this bundle is quite specific. This bundle includes the IF800, and it's configured for blue, so if it's for military use, this is the ideal package. It also comes with the Gremsy Vio, which is the IR camera. It's got an 8x digital zoom and a 30x super optical zoom. That's got a laser rangefinder that reaches out to about 2,400 meters. It's got a 645-12 at 60 hertz radiometric thermal camera. So that means that all of your movement and so forth in that thermal camera is going to be buttery smooth instead of the jerky transmission that we see come out a lot of the thermal cameras that are out there. As mentioned, it comes with 4 batteries, which are hot swappable, and it comes in that case that you see listed right there. So again, this is the blue version of this aircraft. We're not allowed to publicize the cost on the Lunch and Learn or over the internet. So please reach out to us, call us if you'd like more information. We're very happy to schedule a demo. We'll get out to your area and show you precisely how this incredible American-made aircraft flies. So we're grateful that you've had opportunity to join us. As you're likely aware, we hold these Lunch and Learns every Thursday at noon. They're generally anywhere between 12 and 20 minutes in length. So we're very cognizant of the value of your lunch hour, and we appreciate you spending a little bit of time at these Lunch and Learns with us. Off to the side here, you can see my personal contact information and the website information for the LiDAR Pros. We'd be thrilled to hear from you. And with that pretty well brings us to the end of our program. I don't see any further questions that are coming up. Next week, we're going to be hearing from Ben Goddard, and Ben is going to take us through RTK versus PPK. So this will become part of our mapping series. It'll be the 3rd session in our overall mapping series. So Ben Goddard is on next week with RTK, PPK. We're taking a little bit of time off between the June event, and our next one following that will be July 11th, ground control GCP, how, where, when, what, and why we use them, and both for LiDAR as well as for photogrammetry. That'll be presented by Brady Reich and myself on July 11th. So folks, stay tuned. We really appreciate you coming out to our Lunch and Learns. We wish everyone a wonderful afternoon and a great weekend. Take care, everybody. Fly safe.